It's Ian from RTO here, and it's Saturday, so it's Richard's. Well, good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Ian, and how are you on this gorgeous sunny day?
Well, it's not good. It was sunny when we went out for a walk, but the sun's just gone in. But it's blue clouds and puffy white clouds, blue skies and puffy white clouds. Anyway, video number 39.
Yes.
Top 10 collaborations, and we don't mean Simon and Garfunkel. We mean Fred Bloggs and Fred Smith.
Yes, exactly.
Decided to work together. 5 bubbling unders for me.
5 for me as well, but I think 1 is a little bit of a cheat, to be honest with you. And that's the reason why I put it in the bubbling unders, because it would be in my top 4 otherwise. But I still think I'm cheating a little bit, but we shall
We'll
see.
see when we get there, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Okay, usual thing. Richard goes first, I go second, and we'll see where we go with this one.
Okay. Well, my number 10 is a song that Dusty Springfield recorded on her Dusty in Memphis album. But UB40 and Chrissie Hynde took it into the top 10 in 1988, and it's Breakfast in Bed. Now, whenever we did our bad covers, I included UB40 and Chrissie Hynde with I Got You, Babe. This one I absolutely love. I just love the song. I love Dusty Springfield's version as well. Of course, with it being UB40, there's a nice little reggae tinge to it as well. And I really like Ali Campbell's high voice in it, nice horns. It's just a really good single. And it was on their UB40 album in 1988, and it got to number 6 in the charts.
Yeah, I think that's a great version. I didn't put it in mine. It was sort of on my initial list, but I thought you'd put it in anyway. So that's why I left it off. But yeah, I think Dusty's is great. Their version is great. And it's a better song than their version of I Got You Back, although I do like that one, but that one is better. What a good start. Okay, my number 10 comes from 1978. Got to number 4 in the charts, and it's Susie Quattro and Chris Norman stumbling in. I just think it's a lovely song, and they complement each other very well. Chris has got the more higher tone. You got Susie with that lovely tone on her voice, and when you see the video, they look like they was having a lot of fun recording it, and I think they did. It's just a great song.
Unfortunately, it didn't do too well in the UK, but it was Susie Quattro's biggest hit in the States. So it was. I think it was our only big hit in the States, but it failed to hit the top 40 over here. And it's a pity because it is a really, really good song, an excellent choice. That I forgot all about that song. It would probably been in my top 10 as well. Well, my number 9 is a song I mentioned on Best B-Sides, and it was the B-side of the Bee Gees' Too Much Heaven. And the song is called Rest Your Love on Me, which is great. But the first version I actually heard of it was, believe it or not, Andy Gibb and Olivia Newton-John. And I think it's an absolutely wonderful song to start with. And those two, they complement each other so well. I don't know if it was a single over here. I think it might have been in America. It was released on Andy Gibb's 1980 album. I think it's called After Dark. But I just think it's beautiful, and I love the Bee Gees version as well, but I actually do prefer Andy Gibb and Olivia Newton-John. So that is my number 9.
Yeah, great choice. Another great choice. I do like that version as well. It's a nice song anyway. You're always going to get a quality song from the Gibb brothers, and I think Olivia Newton-John is wonderful on it. She really is. Okay, my number 9. This is from Status Quo, and this song appears on their Don't Stop album, which is not my particular favourite, but there is one song on there, and I love the original of it because the original singer sings with them on it, and it's All Around My Hat.
Yeah.
Status Quo and Maddie Pryor. It was released as a single, got to number 47. Now, on that Christmas tour, Maddie Pryor came out at Birmingham and sang it with them because Steel Eye Span was actually supporting Quo. Now, they didn't do it in their set, and you go, ooh, bit odd. But then we said, I know why they haven't, because she'll do it with Quo, and they all came out. It wasn't just Maddie Pryor. We got both bands. Brilliant song. And that was one that actually worked from that album, I think. You know, they put it in the Quo machine and it came out well, but Maddie Pryor was mad as a box of frogs.
Very good singer, though.
Oh, terrific.
Terrific singer. I have to admit, I really do like Steel Eye Span. I know it's very English folk sort of stuff, but I really, really like their albums. There's one for you to do an album ranking.
Yeah, I think I will get Dave to add it to the list, but I might do a retro ranking on Steel Eye Span, my top 10 songs, because I love them and I've seen them 2 or 3 times and I think they're brilliant.
No, really, really good choice. Love that song. It's the only song I actually like off that album. Well, my number 8 was a single in 1983, and I bought it at the time, and it got to number 9. And it's Cliff Richard and Phil Everly, and She Means Nothing to Me. I think it's just so catchy. I love the little guitar licks in it. It's just a really, really good pop song. It was on Phil Everly's solo album, which I don't have. But as I say, I bought the single. Absolutely love it. She Means Nothing to Me, number 9, 83.
Oh, the picture just stays there. Because that's what my number 8 is.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Brilliant. I can't add much more what you said about it because it is just a catchy tune.
Really, I know.
And I think Cliff and Phil sound great together.
Yeah. Oh, I'm delighted. I'm delighted because I didn't think you would pick that one. I thought that would be one of my guilty pleasures. So,
oh God, no! It was. My mum brought it. I mean, my mum buying singles back in 1983. She went and brought it, which was totally bizarre for my mum. But I mean, when she put it on, I loved it.
No, I bought it as soon as it came out. When the first time I heard it, I thought, this is really good. And it's Cliff Richard, though. I don't care. I'm buying it. It was brilliant. Well, my number 7 is Kirsty MacColl guesting with this group. That's not the Pogues. It's Matchbox. Matchbox and Kirsty MacColl doing a track called I Want Out. It was the 3rd single of their album, which I can't remember the name of, but it was on the Matchbox album. It was released as single in 1983, didn't chart. It's like a Buddy Holly type song with loads of strumming guitars. You know the way Midnight Dynamos, there's a lot of strumming guitars. It's very similar. Really, really catchy, and there's a good video on YouTube of them doing it, and I've always loved it. And I am a bit of a Matchbox fan. I prefer the rock and roll in the 70s whenever they're faking it, basically, compared to the original Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis, etc. And I've always been a bit of a Matchbox fan with Rockabilly Rebel and Midnight Dynamos and Buzz Buzz Diddle. But I Want Out, great track, and that's my number 7.
Yeah, I like that track. It's a great album. And I remember buying Buzz Buzz Diddle It on the same day as I brought Dave Edmunds Singing the Blues.
Yes, right at the same time.
Yeah, I think Buzz Buzz Diddle It is great. And that Kirsty MacColl's a great singer. I mean, I love her. There's a guy down Chip Shot Swears is Elvis. I think that's a great song. Yeah, another good choice. Okay, my number 7 comes from 1981. This got to number 5 in the UK, but didn't chart in America. Now, considering these two are both American, one is Cher and the other is Meatloaf. Dead Ringer for Love. Fantastic video.
Yeah.
A brilliant song. I know I saw Meatloaf do it live, but Cher never come on, but it's one of them story songs that Meatloaf used to do. It's just a brilliant song. It's good old-fashioned rock and roll. Cher sings like bellows out her lines, but it's the video that makes that song. It's just absolutely brilliant.
That sort of helped bring Cher back, I think, into the limelight again. I think it's great. I actually think the Dead Ringer album is great as well. Maybe not quite as good as Bad Out of Hell, but it's up there.
I
And
like that album. It's underrated, very underrated.
really, there's a song on it I think is probably his best ever. I'm Gonna Love Her for Both of Us. I just think it's magnificent. But I never even thought of that, and it's another great choice. Well, my number 6, I don't think you'll like, and it's from 1991. I got to number 4, and it's Zucchero and Paul Young and Sensu Madonna. I just love it. I just love it's like a ballady type song, soulful. It is dated in sound. It is from the very early 90s, but I just think it's such a gorgeous melody. And Zucchero's got the sort of Joe Cockery type voice, and Paul Young is the real soulful voice. And I just think it's a brilliant track. Without a Woman, Sense of Madonna is my number 6.
Yeah, I know the
And
song, and yeah. Shall we move on?
yes, of course.
Okay, my number 6, and I think this is probably one of the great pop duos of all time. From 1983, number 2 in the UK. If I just say Paul McCartney, you know who I'm going to say next.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and Say. It is just a fabulous song. The video is brilliant as well. I know we've this song's come up on many of our videos, but it's up again because it is that good. I've got the 12-inch version of that. I brought it when it came out. I first heard it and I thought, this is brilliant. I love the bass. It's a great bassy thing. And I think Paul and Michael sang well together, that contrast, just a fabulous song. And I think it got to number 1 in America. It should have been number 1 here as well because it's that good.
Yeah. It's come up on our list a lot because it is so good, and it's going to come up again, but not quite yet. Okay. Well, my number 5 is an artist you've already mentioned, and it's Carleen Carter and Dave Edmunds doing Baby Ride Easy. It's a little country track, a little catchy, quick country track from Carleen's 1980 album, Musical Shapes, which is basically a rock pile album because all the rock pile members play on it. Although they don't write anything for that album. Nick Lowe wrote for the next album, Blue Nun. But Baby Ride Easy, great little catchy country and western number. And you see a really good video of the two of them performing it. And Carleen's got her like cowboy boots on and all the rest of it. She looked absolutely gorgeous, by the way. Fantastic track. It's my number 5.
I like it when they say Rock Pile only released 1 album. They didn't. They released loads, but in different guises.
No.
You can't. I mean, Nick Lowe was married to her, wasn't he? So, so you can understand. Yeah, you make an album, but my mates are playing on it, and that's a good choice because I think Rock Pile, the whole bunch of them are just great musicians anyway, and it is a great song. I love that song myself. Okay, my number 5 goes to 1986. Got to number 9. Another one, if I just say Peter Gabriel, you know who's coming up.
Yeah. Miss Bush.
Miss Bush. And Don't Give Up from the So album. Wonderful song. I love the video because it's just so, I don't know, there's just something about that video. Backs to each other. And it's so wonderful. Kate's vocals on that are superb.
Yeah.
If it weren't for her there, I don't think it'd be as good.
I think it's a great song. I've got it, but it'll be in the bubbling unders, I'm afraid. So, but it's an excellent choice. Well, my number 4 is Elton John and Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton?
Eric Clapton from 1992 and the track Runaway Train, which was the second single from that. Didn't do very well, but it's an absolutely brilliant track. And the guitar on that by Eric, I'm not an Eric Clapton fan. He's okay. But the guitar on that is absolutely amazing. And every time Eric plays a little piece, then Elton plays a little piece on the keyboard, and every bit is good. It's just a fantastic song with a brilliant chorus, and it should have been a huge hit, wasn't. But I love it. It's my favorite collaboration with Elton, and it's got to number 31 on the charts, Runaway Train, and it's from the album The One.
Great track. I forgot about that because it was used in Lethal Weapon 3 at the end. Yeah. Brilliant song. I've totally forgot about that one, but that was a good call. It is a great song. I love that song. Okay, my number 4. My favourite track off Hot Space.
Staying Power. That's not a collaboration. Body Language.
Of course, it's dun 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 dun. It's Queen and Mr. David Bowie, number 1 big hit, best thing that's on that album, without a doubt.
It's good. It is very good.
Yeah, it came apart. Thank you for David being in the right place at the right time, because the album wouldn't have been. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people think it doesn't fit on the album. So
it probably doesn't, but it's the best thing on it.
So I'll give you that, man. I don't have it for a reason, and you'll find out why. Well, my number 3 is one you mentioned, and it's Say, Say, Say by McCartney and Jackson. Again, I love it. And the video, as you mentioned, is absolutely brilliant. The vocal performances of both are brilliant. But one thing he didn't mention is the production by George Martin is absolutely spot on. In fact, George Martin produced Tug of War album and the Pipes of Peace album, and the Give My Regards to Broad Street albums. And I love those 3 albums. And I think the production has an awful lot to do with it. And I've always loved it. And it's one of those songs, if you hear it in the car, yank it up.
Yeah, it's just that start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 3. We've mentioned the band, but the drummer of this band, a certain Roger Taylor, had a solo career. And in 1984, he put out an album called Strange Frontiers. And there's a track on there called It's an Illusion.
Right.
And doing backing vocals and rhythm guitar is the legendary and probably the best rhythm guitar player in the world, in my books, a certain Mr. Rick Parfitt.
I didn't realize that he was on that. I have that album.
Yeah, It's Illusion. Backing vocals is on. It's an Illusion is our Rick.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant track. Brilliant track. It was a single as well. Didn't do much, but but it's a great song. It's got, it's Rick. If you sit and put it under there, you can hear that great rhythm from Rick. I love that track. My favourite track on the album.
Well, I must play it again because I'm not as familiar with that album. I do love the track Man on Fire. I know he covers Masters of War, the Bob Dylan song, on that album as well.
Yeah, and Racing in the Street, Bruce Springsteen.
All right. I must give that another listen.
Yeah. I had it on the other day. Brilliant album.
Well, my number 2, I don't have anything in physical format by any of these 2 artists, although my brother does. And this is a bit of a curveball for me, but I love it. It's John Prine and Iris DeMent doing a song called In Spite of Ourselves from 1999. And it is absolutely hilarious. First of all, it's a catchy little sort of country number because they're both sort of country singers, especially Iris DeMent, because she's got that real southern twang to her voice. But the lyrics are so funny. It's about a man and a woman and how much they love each other, and they go through all the flaws. I'm just going to read you a quick line, which is so funny. If I can see this, he ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. I caught him once and he was sniffing my undies.
Oh, brilliant.
It is so funny. Now, if you do put it up, put the live version up whenever they're actually John Prine talks about a little story or something for there's only a couple of
Yeah,
minutes
I'll
before.
find the live version of that.
Absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it. In spite of ourselves, John Prine and Iris Dement. And I think if Elliot was watching this, I think he would approve.
Yes, I'm sure he would. Okay, my number 2 is from 1985. And I had the privilege of watching this being performed on stage by the 2 artists. It's from Bryan Adams's Reckless album, and it's the song "It's Only Love" with Tina. Now, I was lucky enough to see Tina Turner on the Private Dancers tour, and Bryan supported. And in the encore, of course, of Tina's set, out comes Bryan, and they've done this together, and I had to pinch myself because it's one of my favourite songs on the Reckless album. But live, it was even better. It was just a privilege to see that, and that's why it's at number 2 for me. It's just wonderful, and a lot of people are so envious when I hear that I saw them perform that live.
That would be great. That would be great because the video is actually like a live version of it as well. It might have been.
Yeah, I think it was taken on that tour because that was the first. Although he was known over here, that Reckless album really made Bryan big over here. I mean, I loved Bryan Adams anyway because I love Cuts Like a Knife, the album. So I'd already heard that to me that was just a double bill gig for me. Bryan Adams and Tina Turner. Wow. Good night out.
I never thought of that. I really I bought that single as well at the time whenever it came out. So it was an excellent choice. Well, my number 1 is David Bowie, and it's with Bing Crosby, and it's Peace on Earth, the Little Drummer Boy. And I think this is his best collaboration, even more than Under Pressure. The song Little Drummer Boy itself, I've always loved. I love Boney M's version. I love Joan Jett's version. I even love the Royal Scot Dragoon Guard Band's version.
And not forgetting the Beverly Sisters.
But the Beverly Sister, I just love that track. Although Bowie hated that song, which meant that somebody had to write sort of a counter song to it to make it, like a medley. And I can't remember who wrote it, but the Peace on Earth part is absolutely beautiful. Bowie's voice is wonderful in it. And the fact that you have Bowie who's weird, although he doesn't look too weird in the video, he looks a bit normal, a bit sort of gaunt and thin though. But, Ziggy Stardust and Bing Crosby, miles and miles and miles apart, different ends of the spectrum, and it works so well. But Bowie, I think, was cursed at that time, because he did the version of Peace on Earth, A Little Drummer Boy, and Bing Crosby died a few weeks later. Earlier on in the year, he did a version of with Mark Bolan called Standing Next to You, and he was killed a couple of weeks later. So to have David Bowie on your TV show was a bit of a curse because because both of them had died. But I've always loved it. I play it every year, and it's one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs, and that is number 1 by a long way for me on this.
It is a great Christmas song. I remember when that came, but yeah, I think he died within. They recorded that Christmas special in September, and he passed away. Yeah, as you said, about 2 weeks later. So when they put it out at Christmas, it was like a tribute to Bing, wasn't it? I mean, I remember watching it.
So do I.
Yeah,
so do I.
But when you got grandparents that loved Bing Crosby, you had no choice in the matter.
Also, whenever you only had 3 channels of TV, you had no choice in the matter.
No, that's it. Okay, what a great choice. My number 1 It's going to be a heavy metal song.
Go for it.
And this is from 1981, and it got to number 5 in the charts. I remember seeing this on Top of the Pops.
I forgot about that. Oh, I would have had that as well.
And it was an EP that these two bands put at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where they both covered one of each of the songs. But the one they did was Johnny Kid and the Pirates, Please Don't Touch, Girls' School, and Motorhead.
Don't you judge me, baby, because I'm shaking so much.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, the poor old Phil Taylor, because what's the name? Kelly was, what's the name? D was doing the drums on that on Top of the Pops. He was shouting maracas. But it's just brilliant. I mean, a Girl's School to me always been the female version of Motorhead, and it was a great combination, and it was great for heavy metal to have two great bands in the charts, and I love that. And I've got that EP, and I love it to bits. It's better. I think it's better than Johnny Kid and the Pirates myself.
So do I, without a doubt. So that's what I mean, Ian. I do prefer the sort of remix of rock and roll to the actual rock and roll itself. Buddy Holly's a different matter. Buddy Holly's the king for me of rock and roll, but that is a fantastic choice that I forgot all about, and it would have been in my top 10 definitely. But there you go. Right. Well, my 5 bubbling unders. I'll leave my cheat to the end. Okay. Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush, Don't Give Up, as you said everything about. Brilliant song, number 9, 1986. Gorgeous. I don't know if you like this, but I love it. ELO and Olivia Newton-John again.
Yeah, I love it.
Number 1 hit in 1980, absolutely. And I actually prefer that version to the ELO version because Jeff Lynne re-recorded that, and it just sounds like a Jeff Lynne song now, whereas the actual original sounds special. Roy Orbison and K.D. Lang doing Crying from 1982. Absolutely love it. And basically, the Roy Orbison original version is sort of like got a little bit of a beat to it, whereas they more or less copy Don McLean's version on this, and they both sing it absolutely beautiful. A disco one, Donna Summer and Barbra Streisand, No More Tears, Enough Is Enough. Really brilliant disco track from 1979, got to number 3 in the charts, excellent. And my cheat, it is and it isn't cheating, but it's John and Vangelis, I'll Find My Way Home. Okay, John, they actually released about 3 albums together, or 2 at least anyway. But John was really in Yes, and Vangelis was basically an instrumentalist on his own. But I'll Find My Way Home, absolutely love it. Number 6 in 1981, my favourite John Anderson vocal of any time whatsoever. But if it doesn't count, it doesn't count, because I'm not 100% sure if it should count, but still love it.
I would count it, although they weren't. I'd count that. Barbra Streisand and Donna Summer. That's a great disco track.
It isn't just,
and it's forgotten about.
I know. I would even get up to dance to that now, with about 6 pints of Guinness in me.
Yeah, I think I would. Some great choices there. Tough to leave them out, isn't it? When you get tracks like, well, mine. So my first one, we mentioned it on the instrumentals. Peter Gunn.
All right, Art of Noise.
With Dwayne Eddy, but he teamed up in 1986 and was a top 10 hit, and he teamed up with the Art of Noise.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I've got 2 versions of that. They on 12-inch. There's the twang mix, which is absolutely brilliant. Okay, my next one is a song that Fish did on his Songs from the Mirror, Boston Tea Party. He did a version of that, but on a compilation album with called Yin and Yang, he actually re-recorded it with the remaining survivors of the sensational Alex Harvey Band. And it is brilliant. It's much better than this version that he did on his Songs from the Mirrors, because you've got Zal's great guitars, you've got Ted banging out the beat, and Fish did a great vocal, and it's the best version of that Fish ever did. Got a 1982 single here. It's an old song, but it's wonderful. Fun Boy 3 and Bananarama. What you do is the way that you do
Ah, I like that as well.
it. I love that. Always love that. I think Terry Hall's vocals in that are brilliant. And the three girls, just that lovely harmony of doing that. It ain't what you do. Brilliant. Okay, we're going up into the 2000s now. Melanie C.
Brian Adams.
No.
Oh, right.
Never Be the Same again, which he did with Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
All right, I don't know it.
Yeah, got to number one. Sadly, Lisa was killed in a car crash 2 years later.
God.
Melanie's great, and you got Lisa, who was a rapper, and she does a little bit of rap, and it's just the way they sing it. It's just great. And we're going a bit really heavy metal here. A song that came out in 2006, didn't chart, and it features Halloween and Mrs. Blackmore, known to us most as Candice Night, and it's a wonderful ballad called "The Light of the Universe."
Wow.
Well, I think for this, I'm not because we're going to have 30 songs in the playlist together, but it's called "Light of the Universe." You've got this raunchy heavy metal band and this delicate Candice Night vocal. It just,
all right.
It's an odd one, but yeah. So there's my bubbling unders.
No, some really good choices there. I'm really jealous about your number one. I never even thought of that. There you go.
Anyway, as you know, our next video is a landmark.
40. God lord.
What we have done, the next time we do this, it'll be our 40th video. And we know what we're doing because our very first video was Chin and Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
So we have decided to go do something very similar to where we started. And we're going to pick our top 20, yes, our top 20 glam rock songs. But Rich has made a little rule that we can have 3 songs of an artist if we want.
If you want, you don't have to. But
no, but yeah, you could. Which I've had to use at the moment. It's been overdone, but I've got it down to 35, so we're getting there. So that will be in a fortnight's time.
Another thing is, what you would call glam rock and what I would call glam rock, some people may not, because glam rock goes, it's basically anything from about 1971 to say 1974. That's and you get the arty glam rock type, you get the sort of stomp and drums type, so it's an actual big scope. It's a large scope.
Some great songs on there. There's songs that you think, oh, is that glam rock? But when you look it up, it comes under glam rock.
Yeah, I know.
So that's a great one. So you're going to see us in a minute, actually live, because this is obviously recorded, but we're going to be live very soon.
No, we're not, because by the time you're watching this, the live will be done.
Yeah. So you'll see us live before you see this.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So for now, or depends when you're watching it in which order, it's goodbye for me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Hey, you got it right. So thank you very much for watching, folks. Bye for now.
Bye.